Hello, everybody, and welcome to Do You Like Scary Movies? Tonight we have a panel where we are talking about horror on film and television, and we're going to get into some deep conversations. Maybe they'll be rather futile. But let's introduce our panelists. I will introduce myself first. I am moderating this one. My name is Lady Lay. I am a drag queen from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I love all things horror. And when you introduce yourselves, mention the most recent horror film or television you've watched. And mine was probably Wednesday. And let's go to Prince Harming first, and we can go clockwise. Yeah.
I'm Prince Harming. I am a drag king vampire here on Twitch.tv. Find me at Prince_Harming here on Twitch. And I go by he, they pronouns. And the most recent horror thing I think I watched was, I think it was Barbarian, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Did I miss something?
No, you didn't.
Okay, cool.
Joystick, you.
Hi everyone, I'm Joystick, Twitch's resident drag monarch, is about the king and the queen, radiating Limbo energy wherever I go. And the most recent horror thing that I watched was Freaky.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Love that movie.
That was fun.
And my pronouns are they, them.
Thank you. Eve.
Hi, I'm Eve. I'm a filthy little peasant girl. I just want to swallow this right up and fill my belly with yum yum. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday on Twitch from 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever I want.
Mm-hmm. And Camille.
My horror movie.
Oh, your horror.
turn.
Eve, what did you watch? Peasant girl.
Peasant girl.
Eve, what did you watch?
I said smile.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
This is becoming a horror movie. Yay!
Okay.
Jump scare. I love it.
Your turn, Camille.
Thank you. Hi everyone. I go by Surreal as a musician and Chameleon as a drag bitch. Cause I just be changing shit. I love horror. Oh my god, are we talking about our content? No.
Talking about a what? Sorry.
I'm so sorry. I became stupid. The last horror thing I did.
Introduce yourself. Talk about your content.
Yeah, I do. Honestly, I just be forgetting things. This is all because the last horror thing I did was a quick change between the last panel and this. So here I am. But the last horror thing that I watched was Guillermo del Toro presents The Cabinet of Curiosities. And also
so good.
Not quite horror, but also cannot wait for his Pinocchio this month.
Mm-hmm. Apple.
Hi, I'm Apple a Day. I'm a drag content creator here on Twitch, as well as YouTube, TikTok, all of the above. And I'm kind of a fairly new person dipping into horror because I never liked horror at all until I started playing like horror game. Well, I mean, until I was forced into playing horror games, and then I kind of became numb to them. So then I started watching horror films and TV shows and stuff. And my most recent one is definitely The Cabinet of Curiosities as well. Yes. Episode 4, the lotion one.
Yes.
4 and 8. 4 and 8, baby. Lotion and the birds.
Aloe glow.
Aloe glow. Well, yes, thank y'all. Thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. Let's get into our first question. I'm curious, what do you think are 3 conventions that horror film or television requires to be considered horror? And we can do the same order again, and then the next question will start with Apple and go back. Okay. So we'll start with Prince.
So you said 3 tropes that are needed for.
Yeah, it can be like tropes
conventions.
Or conventions. Like I personally would say, I think like one thing I would say would be like an intention to either unsettle, disturb, or scare. Like I think like
Mhm.
the intention's a pretty big part. I would say probably a score that has like very much like again intention on the score of the um scary music with the jump scare music and whatnot. And I would probably say like characters that are um character types,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think is very
So
very
yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
horror,
agree.
if to be considered horror, for me, the number one
Mhm,
things you need is you need a focus on some sort of morbidity or death or something like that. It needs to
mhm,
be at least an element in some form. I think you need a somewhat of a dark tone. It
mhm.
doesn't have to be serious, but it does need a dark tone of some sort. And I do feel like you need, hmm, yeah, I
It
think
doesn't have to be
music.
three
Yeah,
either. Yeah, the music's important.
yeah. But I think the number one thing is you need to have some sort of morbidity as a theme.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Joy.
I would have to say music is very important, especially when it comes to horror.
Yeah.
Um, an element of gore. It doesn't have to be like excessive, but it needs to be there. Or and the last one I think would be the tiniest amount of camp.
Hmm.
Mm.
That's fair. Eve.
For me, it would one thing is like there has to be like a certain level of uncomfortable. Like I
Yeah.
think horror, whether it's like that, like I'm scared, like that uncomfort of like what I'm watching is something that I'm not used to seeing, and I'm uncomfortable by that. Um, I think a story that is kind of like out there where it's not like a lot of the times in movies, like let's say like a romance, it's like this person who falls in love with this person and there's like a longing and all this stuff or whatever. But with like horror, the story can be like, oh, it could take place in like space, or it can take place in like another dimension, so it has to
Jason
have
in
that like
Space is a great film.
Jason Space is amazing, Jason
Mhm.
X, but
Yeah.
like that just like out of this world kind of story.
Mhm.
And I'm going to agree and say score, because I think that we take that for granted. A lot of the
Yeah.
times we focus on the imagery that's in front of us and we don't really look at the sounds, like just like that right there. I feel like is what controls a horror movie, is
Mhm.
Yeah.
like the music, the sound, the score, the everything is like the driver of a horror movie.
Yeah. I think part of the reason I mentioned score as well is because a lot of films that aren't horror can heavily rely on soundtrack, like music from other artists.
Mm-hmm.
And like those sounds and those musics then like become like synonymous with that film. Whereas
Mhm.
like horror music a lot of the time, like horror films, like they have a score that's very meticulously used throughout, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
that theme, and that like a killer in a slasher, like the killer has a theme kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
like
yeah.
a song made by someone else that's then utilized.
Yeah, like Michael Myers, for example, we all know like that piano,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
like
Making my way
Halloween.
downtown, Michael.
Walking
Right?
fast, yeah,
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
Michael. For me, I would say that there needs to be levels or impact or intention to sound design, set design, and lighting. Those are the big three for me. Like
Mhm.
characters, of course, but like I just need levels and variation to those things, like so that when the silence hits, it fucking hits,
Mhm.
and so that the location itself takes me there. Like characters are sort of like I don't need great acting. I don't need great characters, to be honest with you, but I need solid sound setting and lighting.
Mhm.
Gotta have that mood.
The
Turn
mood,
off the lights, light
the
a
mise en
candle.
scene.
Kill
For you, Apple,
somebody.
kill
Sorry.
somebody. So no, you're good.
I agree with what everyone said. So
Yay.
That's hot.
actually, have y'all ever seen like the horror? Like I've seen it on YouTube like a couple years ago, but it was like horror scenes with like no music, with like funny
Yes.
music.
Oh my
Mhm.
god.
It just
So
makes
funny.
it like not scary at all. And
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so the music and the score really does play a huge
Yeah.
part in I mean, I hate them. Scary
Put,
movies.
put Benny Hill over like a scene in Hereditary, and that shit will send
Yeah.
you to the moon.
Well, see,
Yeah.
there is reference to something that I love is contrapuntal sound is when music is used in film or TV that is a high contrast to what you are visually seeing.
Mm.
And something that I will always remember is in American Horror Story Hotel when the cell phone, you used to call me on my cell phone while Lady Gaga was being murdered. And it was just, I think that the contrapuntal sound created, obviously not, it wasn't a scary thing, but it was disturbing. And it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like funny and camp. It was quite cool.
And it makes me think of like how in some of these there's this I think it started with Get Out, but there's been this take on, you know, taking these songs that have been presented in a certain way and sort of remixing them to be scary or chilling.
Mhm.
Like they did I don't have the songs present in my mind, but they did that I know for the promo for Us as well as Get Out, I believe. But we've heard it with other things too. Like Beyonce did As Scary as Crazy in Love. Shout out to
That
Amanda
was
Express who did a
fabulous.
lip sync to
Mm.
that rendition.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that's really exciting.
hmm That kind of leads me to my next question because with what I think is like required for horror, I would consider thriller a subgenre of horror. I
Mhm.
wonder if you would consider thriller a subgenre of horror, and also on the thought of subgenres, are there any horror subgenres you'd like to see more of? So, like, personally, I love. I don't know a name to put it on yet, but like Heathers and Jawbreaker, I would consider
Mhm.
those even in the vein of horror because there is like that, like
Teen Scream.
disturbing teen scream, yeah, teen scream.
Yeah.
Mm.
And those are always more I'd love to see more of. Like,
There's disturbing death, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. Apple, we'll go to you
Yes.
first.
Touching on Joy's most recent film that she watched, which was what was it again?
Freaky.
No, it was Freaky,
Freaky,
yes.
yeah.
So I went to not American Horror, Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios.
Thank God.
Uh-huh.
And they had a freaky house, and I was like, okay, I have to watch this movie because it was so like campy. And I would love to see more like campy movies like that. I love stupid humor, like the Scary Movie franchise is one of my favorite films.
Mhm.
So I want to see more of that style of horror because I love laughing at
Yeah.
people.
And I think
Yeah.
that like the scary movie style, like it feels like something that was very much like in the 2000s. And I feel like we don't get a lot of that, like very much like disturbing, laughy comedy horror anymore. I'd like to see more. I agree.
Yes.
Joy? Oh, sorry, Camille.
What?
Oh, me and Eve are gone. We're dead. I would say, okay, I'm thinking of two different genres. First, and I struggle to even call this a subgenre, but I was
Mhm.
just so thoroughly devastated by how bad They/Them was. We need more
Oh,
quality.
This up again.
We need more quality. I'm not going to go into detail. We need more of like
Please.
quality, like, and not secret queer horror. I need in your face, obviously queer horror. I'm looking at you, Child's Play
Mm.
series, Child's Play, all of you. I
Oh,
appreciate
have
that.
you watched the Chucky TV series?
That's what I mean. Yeah, Chucky as a franchise has been good about inclusivity and being like in your face with it. I want more. I need to see more.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I would say
More.
that and creature features. I love me. I love animals
Oh.
fucking people up. Lake Placid, Anaconda, Deep Blue Sea. I just found a moose
Anaconda.
movie. I literally had a random thought when I was going to the bathroom. I wasn't typing. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I had a random thought on my way to the bathroom. It was not preempted by shit, but I was like, "Is there a moose horror movie?" There is. It's on Amazon. I have not seen it yet.
A moose movie?
A moose
I
horror
totally-
movie. Tusk.
We'll have to watch
yeah,
that
ooh,
after.
Tusk, I think, is body horror.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
I would
Oh,
say body
yeah.
horror. It's
'Cause it
inspired
wasn't
by
a
a
creature to
creature,
start with. Yeah.
but it's body horror. Yeah, which I also love.
I thought you were just gonna stop with animals fucking people. And
Now, Joy, that,
Oh, God.
that
I
panel's
was like, just
tomorrow.
go back to Bram Stoker's Dracula.
That
yeah.
panel's not tomorrow. It's not happening.
Speaking about the representation in the Chucky series, I love the new Chucky TV series, and when I saw Glenn and Glenda rock up in this baby pink car that said that they
Mhm.
slashed them on the number plate, I was just like, ah! It was so like it's really just nice to see.
I like how they're presenting it too as like not a joke. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they are putting it out there like, yeah, this is what we're doing now. Like we're gonna be doing this.
I'm glad. Yeah, Eve, your turn.
So Thriller presents that like different side of like it's like I feel like horror is very much like toned, like how do I say this? So like Thriller is like edge of your seat, like you're just like, oh my god, like oh my god, what's gonna happen? Whereas horror like almost kind of like brings you back to your chair of like, oh my god, what's happening? Like what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Like you're backing away from the TV when it comes to horror, and then Thriller, you're like coming closer, being like, what's going on? So they kind of present the same energy, but it's like opposite. And I would 100% classify Thriller as a subgenre of horror. Which one I would want to see? Oh God, I want more like smart horror, where like Hereditary brought that for me. Midsummer brought that for me. Just like so, like the like witches, like Witch, like the Witch was like that movie right there. Just like that grabbed me. I was like, that's great. And then Hereditary, like one of my favorite horror movies is Hereditary. Like just so amazing. I want more movies that have like undertones and symbolism and metaphors and all this stuff. Give me more, please.
Yeah, I think the Flaniverse is also like I do enjoy watching their content because it's often like the Haunting of Hill House series and stuff.
Yes,
I feel like
So
it's like intelligent, and like there's moments of softness,
yes.
which I think like a lot
Yeah.
of people would be like, horror and soft, what? But like especially in Blind Manor, I thought there was like romantic moments, and I enjoyed being able to see that within such a like dark atmosphere.
Yeah, like Midnight Mass. I don't think I've ever cried as hard as I did watching Midnight Mass. Like, just like that's the great thing about horror, is that it's not just presenting you with, oh, look at this dead body, look at this ghost, look at this, whatever. It's like people, like actual human beings, like interacting with something that is out of this ordinary or supernatural, whatever, but you're still going through their lives. And I love that. I love that.
Joy?
I would like the opposite of what Eve wanted, because Eve wanted like smart horror. I want stupid horror.
Yeah.
I want like comedy. I want horror comedies back. I want like the horror movies that are like so bad that it's good. Like my ultimate train wreck of a movie that I absolutely unironically love is Sleepaway Camp, and I will watch that shit over and over again because it's so bad, and I just need that shit back, please.
We have Cocaine Bear on the way.
Cocaine Bear, yeah.
Oh wait,
Cocaine
aren't they
Bear?
doing like the a horror version of Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that shit-
Yeah.
I saw that.
Have you seen the Mean One? It's
Mean
a
One?
Grinch horror movie.
What?
Oh my
Oh,
god.
Like
Violent
Grinch horror
Night?
movie?
Yeah.
Is it
there was, like,
Violent Night or is it?
No, that's Santa. That's like
Mhm.
Santa
Oh.
action.
I'm confusing my Christmas icon.
Santa action. Action Santa.
Christmas
Yeah,
lore is
with
confusing.
the guy from Stranger Things. He's like he's throwing like ice skates in people's chests. Like
That's weird.
So is Denali.
Mm,
Don't quote me, allegedly. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
I have not heard
uh,
about a horror Grinch, but I can't wait for more things to become public domain so people can just start fucking around with it.
Yeah.
Bring back
for
the Grimm brothers. Sorry.
the Grimm brothers. No, you're good. Also, Camille and Apple, did we have answers from you about whether you think thriller is a subgenre or part of horror?
You're going the wrong way, lady. We already answered.
No, but I'm wondering if you didn't. If you
Oh,
answered
the
that part of
subgenre.
question.
We didn't
Oh my
answer the other
God.
question, I guess.
I'm so sorry. You're
I
the
think it
moderator. I'm
is.
so sorry.
Thrillers
I-
are so scary too.
That's fair. I
Everything's
struggle.
scary.
I sort of struggle with it because like if when I'm looking for horror, I
Mhm.
don't want a thriller. So
Uh-huh.
I think that it's
Oh.
valid to see it as a subgenre, but I'm gonna book the other way and say I don't really see it as a subgenre. That's a different experience for me.
Do you think that there could be like because I get what you mean, like it's there's a lot more suspense in thriller. I'm
Yeah.
curious if like
I love a crime drama. I love
yeah,
phone booth.
like would it become horror for you if it was then like that same tone but like a creature feature potentially?
It's not even that because I mean, oftentimes there's serial killers in thrillers. There's there's murder happening in thrillers. There's a body count in thrillers still. I don't know what it is. When I think of thrillers, honestly, I think really close to crime drama.
Right, yeah.
I can't really pluck out a thriller in my mind that has a horror tone because at a certain point I just put it under horror.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Apple, you said yeah.
Yeah.
Joy, did you answer that part of the question?
What?
Did you answer that part of the question as well, Joy?
I don't think so.
What do you think?
I think I would categorize it as a subgenre because it has that sense of like suspense and there's like an element of fear in there. So I feel like it would be subgenre. Like
Yeah.
action thrillers, not so much, but
Mhm.
like the actual good thrillers, then yes.
I think the reason I ask as well, and I put that as a question, is because I don't know if I've got like OCD or something, but something about me just like worries about, I'm like, because I love both, but I'd like consider both horror. And I'm like, I need like the definites of what makes one and what makes one the other, which is why I asked the question because I'm like, I'd love to be able to like differentiate them. And I feel like films come.
Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like films come such a like films come such a way that like so many inspirations and so many like different like things are intertwined. Sorry.
No, this is just how this is how you and I talk about horror all the time.
Yeah. I love it.
So I'm wondering if anyone has like a movie that they're thinking of when they think of like a horror aligned thriller, something that's less action thriller.
The Possessor. Have you seen that? It's a
I've not
new one on Hulu, and it's about this like assassin who like in the future, this is how you assassinate people is by like implanting yourself into their bodies, like essentially, and taking over some random person to like pull out the assassination. So it's like it's not giving you full horror, but the elements inside of the movie, which was like Sean Bean getting his face absolutely demolished, just like, and you're watching it like it does not, the camera doesn't pan away, like you're just seeing this body horror happen in front of you but I would still classify that movie as a thriller.
I see. No,
Is there a movie where Sean Bean doesn't get murdered?
There was. My partner and I just looked it up the other day and I forgot. But there is one.
What?
were you specifically looking for one where he doesn't get murdered?
He was the final girl for once.
Wait, no, in Possessor, he doesn't die.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
Oh, wow. It's a new one on Hulu. You should go watch it. The
Run an ad.
spoilers.
Run an ad.
Cut me. Dola, cut me.
Dollar remove. I'll go to Prince Harming before we continue asking about what we would consider like a mix of both.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your answer for the whole question?
So I think thriller for me, instead of being a subgenre, I view subgenre as like you have your main genre and then these just like branch out underneath as like more specific niches.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really a subgenre of horror, but I do see it as like a bridge between like horror and action, because action is like, you know, high octane, but you don't really fear for the main character's life. Like they're going through all these action sequences and like fantastical things, but you don't think, oh, that person's going to die. But in a thriller, you introduce the horror element of like this person is in danger, like they feel
Yeah.
vulnerable. So like I think it's kind of like a bridge between the two instead of being a subgenre.
Uh-huh.
If that makes sense. But then
That does make sense.
in terms of like other subgenres I do want to see more of, you know, there's definitely a subgenre of like sci-fi horror that we haven't really seen too much of recently, and I love sci-fi horror. And also something that people don't normally think of as horror because it's not as in your face, which is like a lot of mysteries
Yeah.
have very heavy horror elements.
Mhm.
And I love a good like horror-filled mystery,
Mhm.
and we don't get a lot of those. And also, like, I hate to interrupt, but something's going on. I just need to be back in just a minute. Like,
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
so I'll just be right back. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would think like potentially The Strangers as like
Mhm.
a thriller horror. Maybe
Oh,
Hush.
wow.
Hmm.
The
Like when a
Strangers, I
stranger
think,
calls?
I think of The Strangers as straight up horror.
Yeah.
That is
Really?
so hard to
Whoa.
watch.
Stalking,
do.
stalking, masked characters, like
Hmm.
Yeah. Maybe I need to.
But it's I don't think anyone's wrong. I just think that we
Yeah.
have different perceptions of it.
I need a sci-fi like Alien like tomorrow, because I
Mhm.
too like when Harming
Have you
said
heard of Alien,
sci-fi.
the film?
I've seen, well, no, I want
Hmm,
something like
I think
that
so.
because it's just like it's frustrating because like I've already watched all of that. I want something
Yeah,
new
no.
with that story.
Yeah. no, I
Lady.
agree.
Lady.
How about one where let's bring? I would like to see Sigourney Weaver is the alien.
You know, London
my God.
Bradshaw met Sigourney Weaver, right?
I do.
London Bradshaw met
When?
her
When?
On the street.
on the,
On the street, and
on
she
the
said, "Hey,
street.
girl."
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That interaction was actually the inspiration for. I'm just kidding. Lady, I'm not going saying the name of the movie would spoil it, but actually we know that Sigourney Weaver's at the end. Sigourney Weaver is the villain of an iconic horror movie. Has it been long enough for us to just say what it is?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's been long enough.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games.
I don't think I've seen the film, but go ahead.
Mrs. Doubtfire. No.
Pinocchio.
Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
At the very end, she's that bitch. So, but I can't get enough Sigourney Weaver, so I would love to see. I would love more.
Is she an alien in that though?
You want her as an alien? You're right. I'm wrong.
I think she has a face for makeup.
She,
Oh wow.
she's got a
That's weird.
jawline for days.
Oh
my
my
God.
God. Oh, everyone with their fans.
Oh.
We're
don't
fans
have
of
a
horror
fan.
here.
Here's my fan.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Clack that fan apple, clack it.
I had to take off the front of my box fan so I could clean.
Oh my
Allergy.
please.
Allergies are my horror.
Not
film.
your box fan. That's a thriller.
Shout
That's a
out
thriller.
to Lasco.
Glasgow.
Please.
We're gonna cut to the next question.
Please.
What is something that you think horror on screen has today that it didn't have decades ago?
Queerness. Next question.
Yeah. Well, it's always had queerness, but it wasn't always inclusive.
Yeah, I do
Because
think it
queer
was
people were
always-
usually either the villains or just the ones that die first.
I think because I was thinking about this question actually. This one in particular I was thinking about, and I think with horror back in the day, like a lot of the stories represented like queerness in general. Like
Mhm.
horror back in the day was very queer, so it was subtle and it was hidden underneath the story. Whereas today, the story is kind of out there, and the
Mhm.
characters themselves are being represented as their true identities. So back in the day, horror was very like masked with its queerness, and now the queerness
Yeah.
is just like, here we are, you know.
We can go to.
Word. I know. I just like answer. I'm so sorry.
No, that's good. Let's go to.
Let's do
let's
it
go to
popcorn
toys.
style. Oh, me?
Yeah. I'll jump around.
Please.
Wait. Which question are we on?
The third one. What
Oh, okay.
do you think horror has today that it didn't decades ago?
CGI and budget.
That
Yeah.
part. That part.
A legend.
Fair.
What films do you think, like, or TV, what horror do you think has benefited from CGI/budget of today?
Well, I haven't really seen a lot of like CGI heavy ones. But I think The Conjuring has a couple. Right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't Malignant have some CGI?
Malignant.
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 I would probably also list Del Toro's Curious.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Aloe Glow.
Great use
Aloe
of
Glow.
CG.
One thing that I
Aloe
will say
Glow.
with horror nowadays, when it comes to CGI, a lot of horror has like converted back to like actual like props and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
practical effects. Yeah, totally.
Thank you. I was like, what is that word?
Practical effects makes me
effects.
so happy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
I
were gonna
love
say
practical
something
effects.
else. And I,
Warning.
and I respect that.
She wants those practical effects in
I
her.
do. I just
In
think
and
that,
around
like,
her
It's
butt.
not that yum yum.
you know, there's
Not the yum
something
yum.
about like being able to see the I guess like when you see like the CGI, if you can tell it's CGI, it's like, and when you see the like practical effects, if you can tell that it's just an effect, it's still like, wow, how did they do this?
Mhm.
Whereas I feel like with CGI, I feel like there's not a huge barrier of how did they do this. I'm like, oh yeah, they would have done it like with 3D modeling.
It's like the
etc.
difference between like seeing an actor speaking to another actor on on a set and an actor pretending to talk to a cartoon character that's not there. Like you can tell that, like when the effects aren't actually happening to the actor and they can't react to it, right? Like you could be a great actor, but when you're having to completely imagine what you're reacting to, like there's always going to be like a layer of it's not happening.
Mhm. I think
If
it's
that
very
makes sense.
powerful when there is like when that does happen, but it's done well enough to not be able to tell, I guess, in a way.
I mean,
Just want to see people covered in blood.
CGI is for better or worse because I don't think it because the question isn't what's done well necessarily decades later because we also have a lot of shitty representations of CGI.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Final Destination, and Saw.
Avatar.
What? Avatar? I mean, sure. Famous horror film, Avatar.
I mean, that is a horror.
Sigourney's in it, you know.
Oh, I know one
let's
thing that we
jump-
have a lot
She's
of
an
now.
alien.
Let's jump to. We've had Eve and Joy. Prince. Let's jump to Prince.
I know something we have a lot of now that we didn't have decades and decades ago. Remakes.
Oh.
Oh.
That's
Good
a
and
good
bad
boy.
though. We got Hellraiser
Good and bad.
Prey
I just
this
say they're
year.
good. We just have a lot of them.
Mhm.
No.
Firestarter.
Arson Nikki, where you
Mm.
at?
Pet Cemetery.
Oh yes.
Apple,
Yeah.
what do you think we have today that we didn't have decades ago?
Are you quoting Sapphire?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch a lot of horror movies from back in the day, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean,
wouldn't
it's
have
been
too much
decades since
insight.
Scary Movie. I hate to make you feel old, but it's been decades.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I think remakes is there's a lot of remakes, there's a lot of CGI,
Mhm.
and I think there's a lot of like the thing that Eve said. Yeah.
Yeah, you did your
Yeah.
research.
I agree.
Yeah, I really
I'm so
love
proud of you.
I will say,
Camille,
backing off of that.
I would say something we didn't have decades ago was fan commentary on horror. I think there's a lot of
Mm.
opinions and a lot of discussion circulating for horror. Eve hates it. I love it.
It's internet.
Because I think that it's so much internet and there's so much.
Mhm.
I think that there's a lot of I think that people do things like, well, I think that's in a separate question, but I think so many people are just publicly speaking about it, and creators are now, film studios, directors are all sometimes too honed in on what people are saying about horror that they're trying to
Mhm.
appease too many voices. And sometimes
Mm.
people are, able to sift through the noise and really navigate those opinions and bring in representation in a fluid way, or change how they craft scares based on those different techniques that you use in filming. So I'd say public commentary, public discourse.
To go off of Camille, what did you think about Halloween Ends?
I love that. It has been so fun. The Stream Queens come, y'all. Good night.
Oh my god, this is such a fun panel. I'm so glad Lady brought us here to talk about Halloween Ends again.
Halloween Ends, burn it. Barbarian, burn it. I don't want it.
It was cute.
Also, too, like, I will say, with like commentary though, comes the ability to like spread. Like, for example, the Possessor, the one that I was just talking about, I had no idea it existed. Had no idea it existed until I watched a video on TikTok of someone being like, "You need to see this movie because it's from what's his name? Cronenberg. What's his name? The guy who did The Fly, body horror, Cronenberg. His son directed The Possessor. So I was like, oh my god, I loved The Fly, I love Cronenberg, like his son, and it brought that. I was like, oh wow, yeah, no, this is actually really, really good. I'm glad that I watched that video of this guy being like 10 reasons why you need to watch The Possessor. So like, with that, I'm like, yeah, I could see it 100%, like people having their opinions and stuff, but like the commentary too, also bringing people into the horror realm.
Yeah. But also I have so much fun talking about, like, if I'm gonna watch bad horror, I love watching it with people. Shout out to 2 years of American Horror Story watch parties.
All the watch parties we've done.
I'm done. We also have fucking Ryan Murphy decades later, and I don't want it.
I would say also one thing that we have more of now that we didn't have then was just more diversity in general of like the stories being told, because like not only do we have actual queer stories being told, we have like tons of stories about like people of color being the front and center of horror movies and their stories and their like horrors being told that we didn't have
the only characters in some
in history.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because like I think back to horror and I was thinking about like, on face value, I'm like, well, there's more queerness now, there's more, there's like strong women, not just like the weak, and there's like weak men, not just like, and I'm like, actually no, there's always been like softer men in like horror. Like I feel like horror was always something that was quite good at subversing a lot of things, however it was racist. And people of color is something I think that is like the one thing that we do have more of now on screen, but I think it's something that still needs to grow up. But it was an interesting thing to think about. Let's go to sorry to mention it.
Not the dab, please.
And speaking of things that we need to see less of, such as racism, the next question is: are there horror conventions and or tropes that you
Like-
think we need to see less of?
Like such as racism.
such as yeah. So what are some horror tropes? What are some horror conventions? Shit that you are sick of seeing. Let's start with Camille.
I have had it with exposition. We all liked Scream, okay? We don't stop explaining the plot. Do a
Mhm.
movie. That's it. I'm gonna not explain my
Mm.
question, my answer.
No exposition.
No exposition. So you want the first thing that we see to be like halfway through?
You're wild. I mean, for some movies, yeah.
Yeah,
There-
so that's what I
there's-
mean. Like,
There's an episode of Cabinet of Curiosities where the episodes are probably 50 minutes long, 40 to 50. They spent a good 3/5 that I'm like that number, that's triggering. They spent a good like 4/5 of the movie of the episode simply setting it up. And everything that is
Mm.
intended to
was that
happen.
the rat one?
No, not the rat
No,
one.
no,
I
not
love rat
the
one.
first rat
That was
one.
the
The
one-
second rat one.
That was one in the room, that orange room with the comedian.
Uh-huh.
They did was explain that plot for until like the last 10 minutes. Arson and I watched it together and we both went off about how long they spent setting it up, and all the advancing of the story happened in 10 to
Final
12
moments.
minutes. Yeah, it was.
Mm.
But you know, that's something I would have hated it watching it alone, but I enjoyed watching it to discuss it with friends.
Uh-huh.
What's so funny,
Seems-
Apple?
Something.
No, nothing. The chat.
This isn't the comedy panel.
Apple.
I want to see more comedy.
It's what you want to see less of, Apple.
Yes, I speak English. I definitely want to see less like just cheesy jump scares, because
Mm.
I want to see something that like makes me think, like I want to see a movie that makes me like go, what? Huh?" And then takes you on a weird journey instead of being like, ah! Ah!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'll go to Halloween Horror Nights for that, and I love that too. But
Yeah. I think also like even if I don't want to think, even if I want to sit there and watch like a stupid horror movie, like there are some like is it called AAA films? Like when films are like
Like
got
from big
money and stuff.
studios, yeah.
what's AAA?
but like there's like so,
Like
like
Conjuring.
I feel like Conjuring,
Oh.
I know it's not the first Paranormal Activity technically, but like all
Oh,
the
like
other
paranormal activities.
You don't?
I'm not a huge fan now.
No, neither. That's the thing. Like I feel like their like jump scares are so like
Yeah.
lazy.
Yeah.
And I sit there to like watch something dumb, but I don't want them to be being dumb when they're making it.
Right.
Like
Right.
I want them to like they do the work and then I sit there,
I should be
without
the
a
dumb
thought in my
one.
head.
Yeah, I need it. I am the dumb one, but
Something
yeah.
that like I can eat my chicken nuggets too and vibe. Like I don't need like a wine. I can have a Pepsi. Like, but it's just annoying to like sit down and watch something and it's just silly, stupid jump scares that don't make sense. Oh yeah, no, I
Hmm.
feel you. Eve.
I want to see less found footage. I want to
Mhm.
see no more found footage. Found footage to me is forced horror, where it is somebody. It's like it's okay. So in horror, like in movies, this is horror movie or movie creating 101 with Eve.
Yeah, go ahead.
The camera is set. The camera is set. It focuses on whatever. Found footage is controlled in the way of like, we're going to let you see only what we want you to see. And that's where those like cheesy jump scares come from. Because like they do the same things of like the camera panning, doing this, and then it will pan back and something's going to make you jump when it pans back. Like
Mhm.
they do the same shit in
Mhm.
all the found footage, and I'm over it. I'm over found footage. It's enough. Paranormal Activity 1, maybe 2, kind of 3. they they did that for us. Everything past that, I'm just like, found footage is just, I'm over it. I am
Thankfully, it is
over
like going out the door. Like there hasn't been very
Yeah.
many recently.
One of the
As it
news
should.
yeah, because it's overdone.
I feel like if it's not done intentionally, like it shouldn't be done.
No, and that's the
It
thing.
seems
Is
like it's just done for no reason.
it goes off
Mhm.
of like their cheesy jump scares. It's just cheesy.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing here. You're just like, the panic of somebody, like an actual human. They're giving identity to the camera person of like,
Mhm.
oh, it's just no.
It's like I feel like when it's done with intention, like the first Paranormal Activity or like the Blair Witch, like when it's done with like that is the concept of the movie, is like
Mhm.
there's a reason for this and like it's part of it. It's great, but when they just randomly throw in like it's found footage for no reason and it's unexplained and it's just like, but why?
Yeah,
It's just
like
annoying.
a documentary team goes to, a haunted asylum and weird things happen there. And
Grave
it's just
Encounters
like,
was okay.
Let's go to Joy. Joy.
Um, I think that I am so bored of zombies.
Oh,
Like,
Joy, thank you.
I fucking hate zombies. Like, they are not scary anymore. They all do the same shit. They like all the kills are the same. I absolutely hate zombies. Like, even like they tried to switch it up with like Last of Us and what was it, World War Z or whatever, where they made them fast, but still, those are all the same kills. Like, I don't want to see people getting bit on the neck over and over like a million times, or a dog pile of zombies on top of people. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm bored.
If I want to watch a bunch of rotting corpses ruin the lives of people, I'll just watch like
Drag Queens
politics.
can't. Oh, okay.
Glee. Oh,
Not Glee.
Prince Harvey. Not
I'm
Glee.
broken.
That's a horror that we're not willing to talk about. Prince Harvey.
I think one thing I want to see less of, and thankfully it has been going out the window as a trend as well, but still I'm glad, I want it to keep going, is I'm tired of like the messaging of like slut shaming all throughout horror movies where it's like people who are having sex, you're gonna die because it's awful and it's like it was this whole morality thing, and it's like that morality code is like being tossed out the window, thank God, but like I don't want it to ever come back. Keep that shit out of here.
Yeah, I would say a lot with Joy's, Eve's, and Apple's answers as well. A lot of what you all had like something like a separate like subgenre you were talking about, but it's like the staleness, like the repeated like same thing over and over. And I think that's why like I like don't resonate with a lot of supernatural films, because it feels like they're all rehashing things that have already worked instead of like using like their own pure creativity. What are you giggling at?
giggling.
I'm so sorry. There's a new poll in the chat, and the choices were very funny.
Everyone vote in the poll.
Everybody
Everyone,
vote.
please vote in the poll.
Everybody vote.
Not an apple.
And an undisclosed person asked one of the momagers to make a poll.
Our next question. This is a long-winded question I wrote down, so bear with. I tend to be long-winded.
Get that
Can
window
I
out.
can I cocaine bear with?
I don't know what cocaine beer is.
That's a new movie coming out. I'm not gonna do that.
Should I be
I wanna
excited for the
see
new
it.
movie, or does it look like something we'll hate?
It looks very fun. A plane
cool.
drops some cocaine on the ground, a bear sniffs it, goes murdering.
Oh,
Like a
I think
whole
that'd be
bag. Yeah.
wild. That's fun.
Right?
Okay, the next question is, so I see horror films as like working towards unsettling, disturbing, and scaring the viewer, since every
Yeah.
human has different fears, different things that unsettle them. I'd like you to name a fear of yours that you have seen exploited in horror film or television, and how that impacted you. Let's do the round from Prince. You can go first.
Fucking spiders. Please stop. Okay. I have a super huge phobia of spiders, and I keep getting blindsided by them in horror movies, and it's not funny, and I don't like it.
But spiders are cute. They help
No,
the
they're not.
That's
environment.
not scary.
I think
They help the
spiders are sweet,
environment.
personally.
They help with population control of bugs.
They can help the environment not existing.
Well, see, like in my old room,
I
I
can
used
do
to
that
have
outside
like
of my house and outside of my movies.
I used to have like a daddy long legs that would like hang out in the corner of my room,
those
and
aren't
he would like eat all
spiders.
the mosquitoes, and then I wouldn't get mozzie bites, and I was like, "Thanks, mate," but then he had kids, and so there's too many spiders.
Also, I contributed 31,000 channel points to fill my belly with yum.
Congratulations, Apple.
Wow.
Thank
Oh
you.
my god, that sounds like you.
Wow.
Joy, what would your
Agreed.
answer be to that question?
Wait, what was the question?
Like a fear of yours that you've seen exploited in horror film on screen, and how that impacted you.
Oh, needles. I fucking hate needles.
Oh.
I'm fine with getting like injections and doing blood work and all that, but like seeing needles like on other people is a big no-no for me. Like, yeah, even also like there's this one specific moment in Pet Cemetery where that is forever ingrained in my brain, where the murderous child just slices the tendon of an old man, and
Oh yeah.
Ugh,
Oh yeah.
that is stuck with me forever. That is ingrained in my brain.
It was brought back for Hostel.
Eve.
Spiders.
Thank you.
Spiders. And Buried Alive. That
Oh.
right there, just like I will get anxious just seeing that happen because and it just happened with the Cabinet of Curiosities with the rat,
Oh, the rat
where I don't.
I love that.
Buried
episode.
Alive.
How does it like make you feel when you watch that?
I feel
Not this
Very-
therapy sesh.
No, like I'm curious.
Lady is RuPaul saying, "Tell me about your darkness."
Yeah. Here's
And
his
then
photo
we'll
of you.
hug,
Yeah.
but only on camera.
It's just like it's like almost like racing of like, oh my god, like I can't imagine myself, like what would I do if I was sleeping and then I just woke up and I was in this casket buried alive and I could
Oh
not
my
get out. No
gosh.
one knows where I am, no one has any contact with me. I'm stuck down here 6 feet under. I'm not getting, this is how I will die, you know, like
That
that.
sounds kind of nice though.
Yes.
Those are the
Being
thoughts and
alone.
I'm just like, oh.
Apple.
Yeah. I'm gonna backpack off of what you said. Exactly that. Like just waking up somewhere and just not knowing where you are, you can't help yourself. Oh, that's the worst. And that rat episode was disgusting. By the way, don't watch it. Everyone in
I
the
thought it
chat,
was
don't watch
nice.
it.
I love that.
I thought that one was like camp and funny.
It was camp though.
It was Cap. It
When
was
the thing came out, yeah, it was camp.
Camille.
I would say I echo the buried alive thing. That is awful. But beyond that, I would also say there are some episodes of Black Mirror that deal with, like, I think the episode with John Hamm, his fate in one of the episodes is basically he is seen. I don't know. I forget how he fucks up, but basically he gets like
The Christmas
severed.
one?
Yeah, the Christmas one. He gets severed from
Oh.
reality basically in that episode. So when anyone else looks at him, he is seen as just like his human form, but just static. You can't hear him, you can't see him, you cannot perceive him beyond just static. And something about that sort of purgatory, like I'm living between the tangible world and the untangible world, that shit fucking chills me to my core. I hope that there's never a way for me to have to experience that. But Black Mirror is one that really introduced a fear that I did not know I had.
Yeah.
Does that include like the horror? Like I know there's a horror movie about like being put under like anesthesia for surgery, but like you're fully aware and conscious.
Yes. That's a
Oh.
good
Like
one.
it's
with
that kind of like
Anakin
your
Skywalker.
body is not
Oh.
reacting to, but you're like fully aware inside, and you're like
I'm gonna throw
alone,
up.
and you can't like
Yeah, that's
interact.
Keep
Yeah.
describing it,
disgusting.
Harmon. Keep going.
That's the one with Anakin Skywalker, right?
Yes.
And Anakin Skywalker's put under, and then he sees
And he like
Jessica
does
Alba
that
cheating on
one
him.
scene
Not
where
yet.
he's
Yeah,
like
Jessica
pulling the
Alba.
tube.
Oh, the
Y'all tried to tell me
eye.
spiders were good.
Right, yeah.
And then a spider shows up. No.
And then there's Santa.
The Grinch. Yeah.
No, there is actually Santa in it.
Is Santa in it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
scary.
believe his dad's
The more
just
you know.
Santa. I think that
Stands
I would
out.
say, like, as well as Camille, I didn't really realize this is something that I would label as a fear. I think for me, it's something I didn't realize I would see on screen in horror either when I saw it first. And I've always thought like I haven't really had many fears. A lot of my stuff is like mental, like in my head. But there was a moment in Halloween Kills, and I feel like mob mentality of others and like mental illness being misunderstood, people's like choices being misunderstood, and like what that can lead to, and how like just the absolute like trauma that humans can inflict, like that always like scares me, kind of thing, like people on people, just like mental, like what can happen. And there's a scene in there where this guy is like, like one person has said that is Michael Myers, and then the next person says, okay, that is Michael, and then like everyone joins in and they just like go for this guy, and spoiler alert, and the ending for him is not positive, and that it really threw me. I was like,
I remember I
oh,
watched that with you, and I remember you
Yeah.
reacting to it. You were like, "Whoa, that's really messed up." Like,
yeah, it was something that like I didn't think I'd see on like horror on screen either, and I was just like, it's something that I think was like good to speak about as well, because it felt very what's the word when something's like looked at from a not a political lens, but like a societal lens, like it felt like a social commentary. And yeah, no, that really impacted me. And I've always been someone who like has like watched a lot of horror and like not really been scared by much, because like outside of that, there's like not really like specific things that scare me. Outside salt and vinegar chips, like that's not a good thing.
Salt
for
and
me.
We've been
vinegar.
okay.
What?
Just saying, we've been having a lot of conversation about your taste in general today.
No,
on,
like
Jessie
so
J.
like the scent, it scares, like I don't like the
We're
scent,
not
and I
doing
get very
that.
nervous that I'm going to smell like it all day, because if someone's eating
Mhm.
salt and vinegar chips one day,
Mhm.
I can smell it on them all day, and I'm very frightened of smelling bad. And I don't like the salt and vinegar flavored things. Just no. Salt
needs
and
to make a horror
vinegar
movie out of
put on
that.
chips,
Oh.
fine. Like hot chips, salt and vinegar flavored crisps specifically. That'll last on you all day.
Lady
Ooh.
pitched this panel as a vehicle to bring us salt and vinegar chips.
And that's the panel. Yeah.
I'm being serious. It's okay.
Yeah, we know you're being serious.
That's a ladies' horror trope. That's ladies. She wants to see the
Yeah.
less salt and vinegar chips.
We're not confused about the level of seriousness here.
Can someone make a horror movie out of that, please?
Lady Lay's like,
Lady Lay
Yeah,
is
the
frightened by
Lay's
pop-up
commercials really
chips.
scare me. Yeah.
When are you gonna change your
That.
name to Lay, L-A-Y, delay, L-O-Y?
Not that salt and vinegar
Lady.
lays.
Oh, do they do salt and vinegar?
It's the crinkle
Yeah.
chip bag.
The calls
I
coming from
love
inside the
them.
house,
But
lady. You
is it
can't trust
salt and
Lay's
vinegar
either.
flavored?
But salt and
Yes.
vinegar is like lit, the best flavor.
They
I
are
mean,
the
like
best.
I'm getting used to it now, because like it's like
You're
an
finally facing your
irrational
fear.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's
You-
like
There are,
Wait,
you don't have to eat salt and vinegar.
You don't have
no,
to
but I
say
have
that.
to smell it on people, and I have to get scared that I'm gonna smell like that all day if I'm close to them.
wait, lady, I have a question.
Yeah,
I'm not a therapist.
You're not fine with salt and vinegar, but are you fine with sour cream? Because that shit smells like farts.
Sour cream and
Sour
onion?
creamy.
you think sour cream smells?
We are prop legends.
It smells
today,
like
damn it.
fart.
You But
I'm sour cream
like,
and chives are
it's like-
yum, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
they're
sour cream and
good.
onion.
But, like they smell like farts.
But
Are
can
you
you
finding
smell them
people
on
eating
people all day?
Right.
Can we
Yeah.
start a poll? What chip smells the most like farts?
It's just
Have you
yeah.
smelled a Lay's like sour
Chips
cream
must
and
be different
onion?
done
It smells
done
like
under.
No, I
farts.
haven't.
Where
I
are we
haven't.
going?
That sounds like it would smell bad though,
Where
like
are
sour cream and onion.
It's delicious.
My
haven't slept
name is
in
Lady
so
Lay, and my chips are
long.
different and smell very different down under. We got luncheons. Oh, how
No, we don't have luncheons. We eat
luncheons.
luncheon.
This is
Luncheon
my
a
horror
meat.
movie.
You like cut, you slice meat and have it on a
Luncheon.
sandwich.
Like Spam?
Just
Yeah,
eat
like
curly
Spam.
fries. Curly fries are right
Yes,
there.
I love Spam.
Oh, I love curly fries.
Don't you?
We do have one more question before we
Oh,
lead into our outros. I'm curious, if we were all in a slasher film, who do you think would die first?
Don't
Who do
get
you think
canceled.
would be the final girl? And who do you think would be the killer? And feel free to explain your answers.
oh.
I will start with Atomic.
Thank you. Um,
Be careful, harming.
I'm in danger.
Tread lightly.
I don't know. I feel like I would either be the first one dead because I'm just stupid, or I'm just gonna snap and be the killer. It really depends on the day. I'm not living though.
Who would be the final girl?
Let's see. Out
Well,
of
the-
this
the-
group,
Who would be the
hmm.
final?
I feel
legend?
like Joy is smart enough to live.
Thank you for
Like,
calling
Joy
me
is
smart.
gonna
No one
be-
calls me smart.
Well, I'm just saying you're crafty. You are smart, Joy. I feel like Lady is definitely killer material though.
With salt and
I mean,
vinegar
my first
chips.
job
After everything we've heard in this panel, the biggest fear is salt and vinegar chips. That is killer material.
Yeah.
Outside of mental things, physically, my biggest fear is salt and vinegar flavored chips.
But also, I'm a vampire, so I do kill people. But like, I have to. It's my nature.
Right.
No, I need blood.
Right.
I can't just drink
And
anything.
were
I
they
need
crispy?
blood.
Is it crispy?
Were the people crispy?
Right.
Right.
I need help.
Right.
Joy?
For a person who would die first, my original answer was Eve, but I think I changed my mind to Harming because I don't know, because like you're so tiny.
Thank you.
That's my only reason. That's
Cute.
my
The
The
way
only
that you
reason.
said Eve, you're not tiny.
Wild.
Eve, you're huge. Jesus.
Not that.
Lady, that's what you said.
I
Look at what
never
you
said
did.
that. I never said that. Eve is my friend.
This is my horror trope that I want to see
Yo.
less of.
Eve literally just got
Bullying.
killed.
The
so-
bullying.
Joy, who would be your killer and who would be your final girl as well?
I think the killer would be Apple. Because you never
Why?
expect Apple.
Right. That's so true.
And I think I would be the final girl because like I'd fuck a bitch up.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'd let you live. The Asians stick
I
together.
was like, yeah, I'm the killer. You can live. Apple said, I want a franchise with you.
I would love a sequel.
The POC would be alive if I was the
Yeah.
killer. Just saying.
Eve,
Okay, who dies first? I think Apple would die first
I would.
because Apple would just be like, I'm not doing this.
No, I would push you down and then run.
But you would probably die doing that, and
I would.
live.
The killer's over there. Yeah, I'm running to him.
You would accidentally push Eve out of danger, and then you would die.
It'd be like Kylie Minogue.
I'm
in
seeing like
that
the
One
killer like
Disaster
chasing
movie.
after us. Apple pushes me, I fall. The killer trips and throws their knife, and it hits Apple.
It's like Final
Who's the
Destination.
killer tripping over you?
Who's the killer?
Who's the killer? I would say, honestly, I have to say Camille, because Camille, I feel like has not only killer energy, but would present a real fucking sick killer look. Like,
Creature.
a creature, like
Mm.
just
Ooh.
like, oh, we would all be terrified. I would just be like, I'm ready. Like, I'm not ready. I'm scared. I'm scared.
We're done with the cheesy jump scares.
I haven't had any
and
cheese today, baby.
Final girl,
Yourself.
I would say, honestly, probably Lady, because
Oh.
Lady Lay has knowledge of like how this is gonna work out.
Mhm.
Mm.
And
I don't think that
Interesting,
you
yeah.
think Lady Lay has knowledge.
I mean, I feel like I'm quite intelligent, but I also don't see fat people lasting that long.
Well, that's why we're changing horror.
We're
Changing
changing
horror.
it.
There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
right.
Throwing out old
Change it up.
tropes. Oh my god.
I love that.
This is so
Apple.
funny.
Yes. Are you gonna skip Camille or am I?
I'm just doing a round.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking,
Yeah. I am being scared.
are you?
No,
Skip
you're
card. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
I'm just
sorry, I
trying
was
to
looking
drive
at
the boat. You're good.
I was looking at the meat so I could see you in real time because I like to have
Ooh.
like human
Oh,
connection.
oh.
We're looking at the
Gotcha. I love looking at the meat.
Mm.
Okay. Can you repeat the question again? What am I
Who
saying?
would be
again?
the
So
final
who would be the
girl?
killer?
Who would die
Final girl,
first,
and who would die
be
first?
The killer?
Who would die first? I think the first person to die is gonna be Lady, because Lady's gonna trip, and then we're all just gonna giggle and run. And then
Get that bitch. We're all gonna Regina Hall.
No,
out the
we're all
door.
hiding. We're like, ladies in the closet. Ladies in the closet.
no, we're gonna be running towards a salt and vinegar factory, and Lady's like, I'm not going in there.
Mhm.
Well, that's how
And
we
then-
defeat her as the killer. Her weakness.
Her kryptonite.
My kryptonite.
I mean, the only person in here that could be a killer, I think, is Eve, El Queen, because Eve is manipulating. She is self-centered. She is
Self-centered.
a bully. She
Mhm.
will be the killer. I can see it. And then the final girl, I think the final girl is gonna be Joy for sure, because Joy is gonna be a little quiet mouse and like never be found. And I'm gonna be
Mhm.
screaming over there. Or I'm gonna be laughing at something and die. And
I get killed off
Well,
screen. It's
yeah.
really disappointing.
Oh,
I just
Tyra
channel my
Banks.
inner
That's amazing.
Aries.
Tyra Banks.
I
Yeah,
mean, she wasn't
very-
originally meant to be killed off screen, but they filmed it and she wasn't that great an actress, so they cut the scene out where she dies. And then it was Tyra Banks.
Oh,
Oh, is that in Coyote Ugly?
No, it's a Halloween Resurrection.
She was
I mean,
in
you
that?
just see
Talking
her
about
dead.
Leanne Rhymes, yeah.
You, Camille?
Okay. I think just to fuck shit up, I think to eliminate our sense of security, Joy is gonna be the first one dead.
Ooh.
Oh,
It's Drew
because
Barrymore
why?
dying at the beginning of
We will,
Scream.
'cause we will all feel much
Spoiler.
safer with Joy around. But
Oh,
I think Joy's gonna be on a Joy's gonna be on a Thembo day that day.
I'm gonna try and fuck the killer.
Shit ain't gonna work out. Joy's trying to bang the killer and then found out. The definition of fuck around, find out. The killer would be Lady Lay, and
Mhm.
Lady Lay is going to be called the Flayer. She's going to flay people, and then
Oh,
rub
yeah.
and then rub salt and vinegar chips on their exposed flesh. That shit, a la Terrifier.
Like Simba, yeah.
And then I will be the final girl.
Oh,
Yeah, y'all.
Ooh.
You're gonna throw those chips.
True.
I'm gonna solve it by just throwing the chips in the trash and Lady Booty's all motivation.
I can
Well,
see it like
I'm out of Lay's.
this is like a hospital scene, and Lady is chasing like Camille, and then all of a sudden Camille runs by a vending machine and sees the chips and just breaks it open.
You just have to see
Like
one
garlic
bag
and a
of
vampire.
salt and vinegar Lay's thrown in the trash and be like, I didn't know they could be defeated.
And they pop the bag, and Lady Lay's just like,
Well, I'm melting.
What the smell bad? I'm Lady
So we're gonna
Finish the chips.
I love that.
we're gonna keep Ryan Murphy so far from this project. Please.
Absolutely, he would ruin it. I think that we need to produce this.
It's
Mhm.
time. And Dear has the title, Flady Flay.
But anyway,
Lady Flay. Yes.
I think that my answer would be
Mhm.
personally, I would like to die first because I want that fabulous scene.
Mm.
I want
You
to
want to be Drew Barrymore?
I want to be Drew Barrymore. I want to be,
I can see that for
I forgot her
you.
name, but that
It's so
the diva-
memorable.
The diva in
Yeah.
Psycho.
So you want to be
Um,
forgotten? Oh no.
Well, no, that's from the 40s. I don't remember things like that.
Come on, you. You better let them. You better let them
I know
know.
that Rihanna played her in the TV show though.
Okay, current. Yeah.
But yeah, like that kind of thing. And I would also like a future career, and I don't want them to like stick me into the horror thing for the all of time. So I'd like to do that, and then I can do like The Notebook and be a romantic lead.
Tasty.
So who's the killer gonna be?
I love the forethought.
I would say that the killer would be Eva Queen, simply
Uh-huh.
because I think that she would. I mean, Eva Queen is
The name.
a killer maid of Dead by Daylight who is known to be
Camping.
oh no, I would never say that.
Tunneling.
I would never say
Oh,
that.
no,
Talk
tunneling,
loud.
I do
passionate
it to people
about
who
her
deserve.
murder. I think you're passionate, and I think that I would love to see like a passionate.
Mm.
It would also be fierce. I'd love to see like every like makeup look that you do for every single death scene. You like turn around like
Different looks.
you are.
Okay.
Close up on the body and just to zoom out of Eve flipping her hair, just like
Yeah, yeah, every
I'm
single
gonna do it
time.
again.
I would say Camille would be the final girl.
Mm.
I feel like Camille is the wisest, and I would like to watch
Oh,
a
thank you.
franchise of Camille versus Eva Queen. I feel like it's two powerhouses.
Ooh. Will you be the Michael Myers to my Activia?
Yeah, please.
Oh my god.
How did you like Halloween Ends?
Killing them jokes, bitch.
Now let's do a round. Everyone, give us your name again. Tell us your socials. Tell us where to hit the follow button. And anything else you want to promote, go ahead. I'll do it properly this time, and I'm looking at the stream now and not Google Meet. We'll start with Apple.
Oh, okay. Hi again. I'm Apple a Day. You can find me on all socials, Apple a Day XO, including Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all of it. And I have nothing to promote, I guess.
Mm.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
I mean, I do have some gigs coming up. If you're in the LA area, I do have some
Yeah.
gigs. On Thursday, I'm going to be at Heart WeHo. And on Sunday, I have an Aloha like Christmas brunch that we're doing in Thousand Oaks. Yay.
Yes.
Nice.
I love
Word.
that Ho is not censored.
Oh.
Oh.
That's powerful.
Uncensored
Oh.
hose.
Ho. What?
Not Lady Lay doing research.
Don't go further. Don't
The
go
nut
further.
lady doing research. The nut lady. Camille.
The nut lady?
can find me at the end of the next horror film that I'm in over at twitch.tv/SirRealCamille. That's Surreal with an I, because I know you want to be there. I'm workshopping that. I will be streaming on my channel on Tuesday. That's really the only thing I have to promote right now. But this is my last panel for Stream Queens Con, and I'm so excited to have been able to participate in this for the third time. This is a fabulous panel to end on. Thank you so much, Lady Lay. And I hope to see y'all there. Support queer creators here on Twitch, support people of color here on Twitch, and support my ass. Once again, twitch.tv/SirRealCamille. Hit that dynamic follow button or die.
Oh,
It's the horror panel.
you are the
Hi,
killer.
I am Eve L. Queen. I'm a filthy little peasant girl. I just want to swallow this right up and fill my belly with yum yums. I stream here on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday from 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time until whenever the fuck I want because I'm an adult. Oh, yum yums.
Yum yum.
You are vile.
Cut the cameras.
Joy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joystick, Twitch's resident drag monarch, as in both the king and the queen, radiating Limbo energy wherever I go. And you can find me at twitch.tv/joy_stick every Saturday, except for today, because I'm doing this. You can find me on TikTok and Twitter and Hive at Joystick. That's stick with a QUE. And you can find me on Instagram at the Joystick.
Cool. Prince Harmy.
And I am Prince Harming, Twitch's drag king vampire resident. You can find me over at twitch.tv/Prince_Harming. Play a lot of DPD and horror over there. And yeah, that's it.
Cute. And I am Lady Lay. I'm a drag queen from Aotearoa, New Zealand. I love all things. How did it say Aotearoa? Aotearoa. Oh, it says it. Yeah.
Yay!
Hell yeah.
We're in Google Meet.
I'll
There's
tell
Google Maps.
Noah.
Come on, Google me. From Aotearoa, New Zealand. I love
Welcome
all
to
things
stage.
horror. I stream at least 4 times a week. Over at It's Lady Lay.
Great times in drag.
As much as I can in drag, but I don't. That's not as much of a selling point, really. When you think about it. I'm in drag as much as all the time. Eventually. And yeah, it's Lady Lay on all socials. Also, you can still get Stream Queens Con merch, and all the proceeds from that are going towards AMFAR, working towards ending stigma and the studies towards AIDS, HIV and AIDS. And I think that rounds us up very sexily.
Can we can I make a request?
Absolutely.
Can we all go out doing our best Lady Lay impression?
Yeah. Pepsi Max. Salt and vinegar is nasty.
Salt and
This is a
vinegar.
good time. Let's go.
Lady.
My name is Lady Lay. I'm from
Hello,
New
my
Zealand.